Hello everybody, this is Gina Bear reporting to you for duty, and today we are going to talk about how I paid off my student loans here in South Korea.
Take off.
If you're new to my channel, hi, welcome. My name is Gina. I've been an expat here in Asia for the last 6 years. 3 of those were in Japan and the other 3 have been here in South Korea. I make content all about Korea and Japan, traveling Asia and beyond. So if y'all like that, please be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and follow me on Instagram because that's where I'm most active and all the fun stuff goes down. I'm also partnered with an amazing TEFL company called ITTT. You can get your TEFL certificate, and if you go through my link, you'll get 15% off so that you can start living your best life and start teaching in Asia and anywhere else in the world if that's your flavor. Also, this video is going to kind of be a long one, so grab yourself a snack, make yourself some tea, get comfortable because I'm gonna let you know the 411. So let's get into this video. I would like to officially announce here on my YouTube channel that I have been student debt free since August 2018. Let's cue the cheering and the fireworks! Woo! So a lot of people have been sliding into my DMs lately and being like, yo, Gina, like, how did you pay off your student loans while teaching in Korea? So I'm gonna tell you guys a little bit of my background and why I chose to teach overseas, how I paid my student loans off, and I'm going to give you guys some actionable tips so that you guys can hopefully pay off your student loans a lot quicker too. Alright, for those of you that are new to my channel, I was an English teacher in Okinawa, Japan from 2012 to 2015. My dream had always been to live and work abroad in Japan, so as soon as I graduated from university, I was in Japan 2 months later in July of 2012. It was super exciting for me to finally be able to live my dream of working and really experiencing the real Japan. If you are seriously considering moving abroad to teach English overseas, I think it's a great opportunity to really immerse yourself in another country, in another culture, in another language, get some really great life experience that you probably would have never learned if you didn't do it, and also it's a good opportunity to save, travel, and pay your student loans. If you guys are interested in moving abroad to teach English in South Korea, I have a video all about that. I'm gonna link the YouTube video like right up here so that way you guys can click on it and get all of that info. Okay, here's the deal. So I believe in complete transparency on my channel and through my social media, and I want to let you guys know that I initially had a very low balance. So I had a grand total of $14,000 in student loan debt. Now this doesn't include the interest that I paid over the life of the loan. I had one subsidized loan at $2,000, which was at a fixed interest rate of 3.5%, and then I had 2 unsubsidized loans for a grand total of $12,000 at 6.5% each. Now, over the total life of my loans, I paid a grand total of $17,741.48. I was extremely lucky because my parents had thought ahead. They knew they had 4 kids. I'm the oldest of 4. And they knew they were going to have to send us all off to university at some point or another because they always preached that education was important. It was the doors to our future and it would open a lot of opportunities for us. I knew because I had younger siblings who could potentially go to university, I chose to go with a cheaper option and I went to a community college for 2 years. So for those 2 years, I was getting my gen eds done, and then eventually I transferred to Illinois State University in August of 2010. Now I was also very lucky because I also had 3 other roommates. And I didn't have to go and live in the dorms because as a junior, I wasn't required to do that, and it literally saved me so much money. And like dorms are just like, they're just gross, like, ew. So for the first 3 years, my parents really helped me out. They paid for my books, they paid for my tuition, and they also helped pay for my housing. My last year, my dad was mostly just paying for my housing. I was paying for my books and anything else I needed for school, and then I had to take out loans the last year in order to pay for my senior year of college and be able to finish. Alright, so now you guys know like a little bit of my backstory. I only had student debt for just 1 year of college, and that's how I was able to pay it off in 5 years. A lot of people want to know how I paid off my debts. Most student debt borrowers have to make really big sacrifices in order to pay off their student debts. I wanted to have a lot of things that I couldn't. I just put it off because I decided that my number one priority above everything else would be to pay off my student debt. So that way when I came back to the United States, I wouldn't be in debt. I would have a nest egg and I could start my life stress-free. Some of the things that I just couldn't have, that I didn't allow myself to have, were a pet. And I'm a huge animal lover. I love dogs. As you guys know, I didn't get Honey until June 2018, like right when I was about to finish my student loans. I didn't have a cell phone plan actually the whole time I've been here in Korea. I also just got a cell phone plan in July of 2018, so like literally a month before I finished paying off my student loans. Like I was legit celebrating. I was like, I knew the date was coming when I would pay off my student loans. I also didn't eat out a lot. I cooked at home. One of the things that I also had to put off that made me super miserable was not being able to travel as often as I would have liked, because I was putting, more money towards my student loans, which meant less money to travel. Now, again, this is complete transparency. The only reason why I have been able to travel like to other places and have as many experiences as I have is because I am an influencer and I'm invited by a lot of these companies, and I decide whether or not to go, whether it fits my brand and my audience. So just a disclaimer, that's how it works. One of the biggest ways I was able to pay off my student loans in a timely manner is because of bonuses, severance pay, and pension refunds. Now, as you guys know, I started paying off my student loans in December of 2012. I was at first just making the minimum monthly payments, like I wasn't paying anything extra, which was a huge mistake on my part, but I'll get into that later. While I was in Okinawa, like all Japanese citizens and like all expats that work there, we pay into the pension fund. So from 2012 to 2015, there was a set amount of money that came out of my paycheck every month because it was going into the pension fund system in Japan. When I left Japan, I was able to get all of that money back. And the grand total I was able to get back from like 3 years of getting this taken out was $5,309.99. So with that money, what I did was I was like, okay, like I worked hard for this money, so I'm going to put the majority towards my student loans. So I put $4,000 towards my student loans, and then actually with the leftover money, because I wanted to travel, I took a really nice extended vacation to Thailand, and that made me super happy. So when I moved to Korea in 2015, I was working at a middle school in Gumpo City. Now at this middle school, I didn't have the option to renew, so I didn't get a renewal bonus. However, when my contract finished, according to the Ministry of Labor, you are entitled of 1 month severance pay after you finish your contract. So that means that last month's salary you get an additional month's salary. So you get 2 months salary your last month working. At that time, because of my salary, I received 2.1 million won, which is about $1,874. Also, in Gumpo City, when I finished my contract, there was a loophole in the contract at that point where you could get a one-way ticket out of Korea and they would pay you a 1.5 million won reimbursement fee for your plane ticket. It didn't matter where you go. You can't do that anymore. They fixed that loophole. But at the time, I did take advantage of that loophole, and I also put that money towards my student loan. Now, 1.5 million won is about 1,333 USD. After I moved from Gumpo City to Hanam City, I recontracted with this school twice. So each time I recontracted, according to my contract, I would get a 2 million won renewal bonus. So a total of 4 million won equals $3,567 I didn't even touch. Like I pretended I didn't have it, I pretended I didn't get it, and I just sent it straight back to my student loans. So while I was paying off these huge lump sums towards my student loans, I was also doing auto pay. So even though I was paid off to a certain point I was still doing auto pay every month, so it really helped keep my interest low and not make me pay that much in interest fees. I realize that everybody has a different situation as compared to me. Some people have less in student debt, some people have more in student debt, some people are a little bit better at saving money than I am. Because I believe in value in this channel, I'm gonna give you guys some like actionable steps that you guys can do to help you pay off your student loans a lot quicker. So let's get into actionable saving tip number 1. Now, one of the things that you should probably do is to probably moderate or get rid of completely expensive habits. Maybe you're somebody who likes photography. Maybe you're somebody who likes to collect toy models. Maybe you're somebody who likes to travel a lot. I'm not saying that you need to completely get rid of all of these hobbies. Like, no, absolutely don't do that, because part of your lifestyle as an expat is to be able to have fun, to enjoy the country, to go out and do things that you like, because we're so far away from home, you know, like we have to keep happy. Just keep in mind like all of those like extra expenses you're having, and think about how much you're spending and how much money could be going to your student loans if you weren't so irresponsible with your expensive habits or hobbies. So that is actionable saving tip number 1. Actionable step numero 2 is to really budget your money. One way people don't get their student loans paid off like as quick as they can is because they are living beyond their means. So they're spending more than they're making, and that's a huge problem. Budgeting was never really one of my strong suits, like ever. So I probably could have paid off my student debt a lot quicker if I had budgeted a bit better. Nowadays, like I've learned how to budget, I've learned how to live within my means, I've learned to say no to a lot of things. Like I used to be one of those people that as soon as they had money, just like spent it immediately, and you can't be doing that kind of stuff. So if you guys are interested in like the worksheets that I use, I will leave all of the links for like how to budget, all of the blog posts down in the description box below. I also use a app called Pocket Expense, and Pocket Expense like really helps me track like what I'm spending every month. It helps me keep a budget. And also another thing that I really learned how to do is just say no, which leads me into my actionable tip 3. Just learn how to say no. I know as an adult, like there's nobody there to be like, you can't do this, you can't do that. And sometimes it's really hard to just say no to ourselves when there's nobody else saying no to us. So train yourself, be like in your mind, do I need this? What purpose will it serve? Does it bring joy into my life? If the answer to any of the above is no, don't get it. And believe me, I know how hard it is because I love cake, and it's really hard for me to say no to cake. Actionable tip number 4 is getting a roommate and living in cheap housing. The Japanese government did not pay for my housing. I had to pay for my housing, utilities, everything out of my own pocket. Unfortunately, it wasn't subsidized like, you know, many other Jats had, because I lived in the poorest prefecture, so boo on that. And my last 6 months of living in Okinawa, I had a roommate. It was really fun. I really loved her a lot. We had a great time together. It really helped lower the cost of rent. We could let the air conditioning run for a little bit longer, you know, because both of us were paying for it. And it really helped save on housing, and it also really helped me save money for when I was leaving and put more towards my student loans. Since I moved to Korea, I have been living in the housing that has been provided for me. Granted, sometimes the housing hasn't been all that great. My apartment right now is in a really shitty low-income area, but I chose to make that sacrifice so that way I wouldn't have to pay out of pocket for my housing. If you guys are interested in seeing my apartment here, I will link the video up above here so that way you guys can check out my $110K Korean apartment. Actionable tip number 5. Don't be a dummy like me, okay? I'm telling you, it was completely stupid of me just to pay the bare minimum every month. That's how you accrue interest, and that's how you get stuck paying your student loans for a really long period of time. My initial interest payments for my student loans were $162 per month. If I would have paid like an extra like $50 or an extra $100, that would have saved me probably like $3,000 on all of the interest that I accrued that I could have used towards traveling elsewhere. So actionable step number 6, make a huge lump sum payment. Like I said before, this is probably the biggest reason why I paid off my student loans as quickly as I did, was because I was making those huge lump sum payments and putting it into my student loans. As an expat here in Korea, like literally there's no excuse. Like, you know, if you re-sign, if you recontract, we have all of these like bonuses, severance pay, pension refunds. There's no reason for you not to pay your debts if you're getting these huge lumps of money just for being here. So be responsible with your money. Like, don't go out and spend it. Just send it to your student loans. So in conclusion, am I happy about the choices and the sacrifices I made? Yes and no. I really hated giving up things I wanted to do, like having a dog, traveling, having a cell phone plan, having a car, living in my dream city, which would have been Seoul. I had to give all of those things up and it fucking sucked. But in the end, it was so worth it because now I am not part of the 81% of Americans that are like up to their ears in debt. And I'm talking about like student debt, mortgages, car loans, things like that. I don't have any of that because of the choices that I made. So in the end, yes, paying off my student debt in 5 years, making those sacrifices was so worth it. I finally have my dog. I finally get to save money. I finally get to travel more often, which is so incredibly exciting for me. And now I don't owe anybody shit. Just remember, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Your income at some point will solely belong to you, and you can choose whatever you want to do with it at that point. I'm living proof. I'm so happy now. It's been 6 months since I've been debt-free. It's been amazing every step of the way. And that is it for this video today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was helpful for you. If you like this video and you'd like to see more videos, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Hit that notification bell. And be sure to follow me on Instagram because that's where all the fun stuff goes down. Don't forget to take advantage of that 15% off ITTT coupon for your TEFL certificate. That way you can live your best life if teaching abroad is something that you truly want to do. And I will talk to y'all lovelies later. Gina Bear, signing out.
Just tell me where you wanna go. Let me take you there. You see, I've been around the globe. I've seen a lot, babe. But I wanna see what's above.